Imagine it's your 16th birthday. You wake up, no parents, you're an orphan, no money, no special plans. Just another cold, broke, lonely day pretending to be a normal one. But then, the most popular girl in school, someone who has never spoken to you before in her life, walks straight up to you and says, "Will you be my boyfriend?" And you're thinking, wait, what? Is this real? Is this a dream? Is this the universe finally throwing you a bone? Oh, it's real, all right. But it is not what you think. Dead silence. Because she is not a girl. She is a demon. And she wants your body. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Hamad. And today we are breaking down Chapter 1 of The Shaman's Blade, also known as Jackdo. This manhwa starts with the wildest birthday in webtoon history. Let's get into it right now. So our main character is Kwon Young-jin. And before anything supernatural happens, the manhwa takes a moment to establish exactly who this guy is. And it does it brilliantly. Young-jin is an orphan. No parents. No family safety net. He's struggling, financially, emotionally, socially. And because of that, he has developed a very specific worldview. He is a hardcore realist, a skeptic to his bones. Superstitions? Nonsense. Ghosts? Made up. Shamans? Con artists taking money from desperate people. He has zero patience for any of it. And honestly, you understand why. When you're an orphan scraping by every day, you don't have the luxury of believing in magic. You believe in what you can see, what you can touch, what you can earn with your own two hands. That's Young-jin, a blunt, no-nonsense kid who has built walls around himself out of pure survival. Chapter 1 is titled Birthday, and it's about to tear every single one of those walls down. So it's Young-jin's 16th birthday, and right out of the gate, it's already going badly. He runs into a classmate who decides today, of all days, is the perfect time to mock him for being an orphan, for being poor, for having nothing. Just unprovoked, casual cruelty, the kind that really stings. Because it's not even said with anger, just dismissiveness. Like Young-jin's existence is something to be pitied and ridiculed. Young-jin takes it, because what else can he do? He walks away, keeps moving, keeps his head down. This is a guy who has learned that the world doesn't care about his feelings. So he buries them and pushes forward. Happy birthday, right? But then, something weird starts happening. He notices a girl following him. Her name is Husu. And here's the thing about Husu. Young-jin has never spoken to her before. Not once. And all the time, they've been classmates. She's just always been there, in the background. A face he recognizes but has never interacted with. And now, suddenly, on his birthday, she's following him, watching him, hovering around him all day. Young-jin notices. He's not stupid, but he can't figure out what she wants. Then she approaches him, and she asks him, straight up, no lead up, no context, "Will you be my boyfriend?" And Young-jin's reaction is exactly what you'd expect from a broke, skeptical orphan. He doesn't melt. He doesn't go red. He doesn't stammer. He wants to know what's in it for him. Because Young-jin doesn't believe in free lunches. If a girl he's never talked to is suddenly offering to date him, there has to be an angle. There has to be a catch. And Husu, she offers him money. Cold, direct, transactional. She'll pay him to be her boyfriend. And Young-jin, as much as it stings his pride, starts to consider it. Because he needs money. Badly. He almost says yes. But then something changes. Right as Young-jin is about to swallow his pride and accept, Husu's entire demeanor flips. The sweet, awkward classmate act? Gone. She starts mocking him. Cruelly. Deliberately. Calling out his orphan status. His poverty. Telling him it's in his best interest to keep her happy. That he should be grateful she's even offering him anything. And Young-jin, this guy who has taken hit after hit his whole life, snaps. He tells her exactly where she can shove her money. He turns to walk away. And that is when the real Husu shows herself. Because Husu is not a girl. She is a demon. And the moment Young-jin rejects her, she drops the human disguise completely. The panels here, described by readers as absolutely terrifying, shift from a normal school setting to something nightmarish in an instant. The art style warps. The warmth drains from the colors. And this thing wearing Hosu's face lunges at Young-jin. She doesn't just attack him. She tears off his left arm. Let me repeat that because it needs to sink in. First chapter, page 1 of this boy's supernatural life. His arm gets ripped off. Not a scratch, not a bruise, not a dramatic near miss. His actual arm, gone. This manhwa does not ease you into the horror. It throws you off the deep end immediately. Young-jin, bleeding in shock, completely alone, runs for his life from this demon. And here's what makes this so powerful. This kid is an orphan who has never had anyone in his corner. He's faced everything alone his whole life. And now he's running through the night, missing an arm, being hunted by a creature that just proved to him that everything he denied, spirits, demons, the supernatural, is absolutely, horrifyingly real. Every wall he built, every superstitions are nonsense defense mechanism. Shattered in one night. He's not a skeptic anymore. He's just a terrified kid who has resigned himself to dying. Pause, let it breathe. And that is the moment everything changes again. Because just when Young-jin has given up, just when he's accepted that this is how it ends, Jin appears. And that name alone, Jin, carries weight in Korean shamanic tradition. A divine spirit, a protector, a force that exists between the human world and the spirit world. Jin steps in and saves Young-jin from the demon. And this moment, this arrival, is the pivot point of the entire manhwa. Because Jin's appearance confirms something massive. Young-jin isn't just a random orphan who stumbled into a bad situation. He was targeted, specifically, deliberately. The demon wanted his body, not any random body. Young-jin specifically, and Jin showing up to protect him? That's not a coincidence either. Something about Kwon Young-jin, this broke, lonely, skeptical orphan, is connected to the spirit world in a way he doesn't yet understand. Chapter 1 ends with his world completely upended. He went from birthday to body horror to divine intervention in the span of one night. And he has no choice now but to step into a world he spent his whole life refusing to believe existed. Okay, let's zoom out and talk about why Chapter 1 of the Shaman's Blade is such an effective opener, because there is real craft here. First, the contrast is perfect. You start with the most grounded, realistic protagonist setup possible. Orphan, poor, skeptic, refuses to believe in anything supernatural. And then the manhwa systematically destroys every single one of those traits. Within a single chapter. By the time his arm gets torn off, you're not just shocked. You're invested, because you know who this person is. You understand his worldview. And watching it shatter feels visceral. Second, the fake-out with Hosu is genius. The chapter title is Birthday. You think you're getting a sweet story about a lonely orphan finally getting human connection on his birthday. The girlfriend offer plays into that expectation perfectly. And then, flip, demon, arm gone, running for your life. The whiplash is intentional. It's masterful tonal control. Third, Young-jin's skepticism makes the horror more scary. Most supernatural manhwas give us a protagonist who at least has some exposure to the spirit world. Young-jin has zero. He actively denied it. So when it hits him, it hits the reader through him. We experience the shock of that world being real, through the eyes of someone who never believed in it. That's brilliant perspective writing. So that is Chapter 1 of The Shaman's Blade. Jack-do, Kwon Young-jin, struggling orphan, hardcore skeptic, woke up on his 16th birthday expecting nothing. Got mocked by a classmate. Got a suspicious girlfriend offer. Almost sold his pride for rent money. Refused at the last second. Got his arm torn off by a demon wearing a classmate's face. Ran for his life half dead. Got saved by a divine spirit named Ch.1. And had his entire understanding of reality obliterated. All in one chapter. This manhwa is not playing around. If you like supernatural action, Korean shamanism, horrifying reveals, and an underdog protagonist who gets thrown into the deep end, with no warning and no preparation, this is your next obsession. Subscribe right now, because Chapter 2 is where Young-jin starts to actually learn what he is, and why the spirit world has had its eye on him this whole time. That mystery? Absolutely gripping. Like the video if Chapter 1 blew your mind. Drop a comment. Did the arm scene catch you off guard? Because I was not ready. See you in Chapter 2. Let's go. Subscribe/Chapter 2 teaser card.